Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Hardcore Survival Guide. Today we start the Nether Hub, but we're going to start the Nether Hub in a slightly unconventional place, and so my first task is to go and gather some obsidian. It's funny, but after the amount of time I spent looking for a lava lake and ended up going into the taiga biome, there is actually one tucked away over the ridge on these plains, and I just never spotted it at all, but that's fine. We're just going to turn this all into obsidian and harvest it for our purposes. Well, mining all that obsidian took about half an hour, but once I was done, you'd almost never know there was a lava lake here, and we have over 100 obsidian. We got 110 sitting right there in our inventory, which is going to be more than enough for the near future and a few nether portals today. But for this task, we will need a bunch of other things. We're going to need some ladders, which I can probably make just out of the sticks I've got hanging around in my inventory. We'll need a few more than that, though. That's more like it. Anything upwards of 100 will definitely guarantee that we can get where we need to go. I will also need some ender pearls, which I believe I traded with some clerics. Yes, there we go. Clerics will trade you ender pearls, which is a really useful trade, actually. I'm going to make some slabs, and we will definitely need something to start a fire with, because we'll need to light these nether portals, so we're bringing a flint and steel, and that is going to have to stick to us for this entire episode. We're going to leave some of the obsidian in this chest here. We'll come back for that later, and we need to go through to the nether. And as soon as we arrive in the nether, we are going to need to head upwards. I'm going to take the coordinates of this portal, though, because we're going to be building a portal directly above this one on top of the nether roof. One quite important thing to note here is that there are pockets of lava inside the netherrack all around us. In theory, we could run into one of those at any time, and so what I recommend doing is placing ladders above you at all times and breaking out blocks before you reach the top of the ladder, because ladders cannot occupy the same space as a lava block, and lava will not destroy ladders, so chances are you'll end up blocking off a lava source if you do that. Now, it sounds like there are a few hoglins around here at the top of this ravine that we're digging up into, but we're going to ignore them entirely, and where we can, we're just going to place blocks attached to the ceiling, like so, and we should just be able to continue our ladder upwards. The goal is, of course, to head up here until we reach bedrock, and then see what Y coordinate we are at. 120. Okay, that is not quite high enough, but we can dig out into the netherrack around here, and what we are looking for is potentially that. Actually, let's take a look at how high up we are. If we're standing here, we're at Y125, that's 126, 127, that is a block on top of the nether roof. There should not be any blocks above this, and that means that is our entry point to the nether roof. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, but I think we should be able to do it. And this is where our methods for getting onto the nether roof are going to vary a little bit, because if there were blocks open on either of these four sides surrounding this block, what we could end up doing is placing a slab and then ender pearling onto the slab, which would get us with our head poking up above the nether roof. But instead, since we have this block surrounded on all four sides, we are going to place a ladder. And if we ender pearl against this ladder, like so, we should end up, there we go, hopping onto the nether roof. And here we are, with this desolate landscape of bedrock all around us, and no mob spawns, because importantly, bedrock does not spawn mobs on it. And this is the point at which I'm very happy we brought some obsidian and a flint and steel, along with materials to break the obsidian if we misplaced it, because of course once you get up onto the bedrock of the nether roof, unless you have brought adequate supplies, there is no way to get back down. We're going to get back down by making a portal back through to the overworld, and that's why I needed the coordinates of the portal down below. The portal below was at 1473.74, so about here. Basically, we're going to build ourselves a brand new nether portal, and this is going to be the start of our nether roof nether hub. Now, with the coordinates matched up, if I light this portal, this should be directly above the portal that we've built in the ravine below, and that's going to take us back out through the portal we came into the nether and back to our village. Fantastic. So our nether portal on the nether roof is now linked to this portal, and if we step back through it, we will be stepping back through this portal into the overworld. However, if we step back through this portal to return to the nether, we're not going to end up on the nether roof, we're going to end up back in our ravine where we started, because those two portals are already linked up. And keeping those two portals linked is actually going to be quite important, because there will be some supplies from the nether and some locations in the nether I want to visit that we will not be able to access if we build a hub on top of the nether roof. And we could go through the boring process of breaking that bedrock at the top of the world and allowing ourselves to get back down, down, but what I think I'm going to do is set up kind of two nether hubs, really. One on the roof of the nether to take us from location to location, and a network of tunnels in the nether that will take us to important nether landmarks, like nether fortresses, bastions, and the different biomes. But there is a way that we can build a portal here in the overworld very close to this one, which will get us to the nether roof, and it's really just to do with matching coordinates, because that portal on the nether roof is actually 128 blocks up in the nether, and so in order to get a nether portal to connect to that, we just need to make sure that the portal in the overworld is closer to that Y coordinate than it is to the Y coordinate of the portal in the ravine. Basically, it just has to be high up enough in the overworld that the closest nether portal is the one on the roof, not the one in the ravine. And to guarantee that, we need to take some measurements. So this portal is at Y68, roughly speaking. The bottom block here is at Y68, and the nether roof one is going to be at Y128. So really all we need to do is make sure that our second portal here in the overworld is built 30 blocks or so above this one. Because 128 minus 68 is going to be 60, half of that is 30. So around this range, around Y98 or 99, is roughly the range at which any portal we build up here is going to connect to the one on the nether roof instead of the one in the ravine. And I think we'll probably round it up, and let's say 100. Let's build a nether portal right here. Gonna walk out onto this block of scaffolding, crouch down through that, and start building our nether portal here. Gonna try and mirror the one below it directly, so we actually have two nether portals effectively stacked on top of each other. And as we light this one and step on through, we should hopefully, fingers crossed, find ourselves on the roof of the nether. Yes, there it goes. Okay, and once we're here, I actually want to make sure that we place some slabs over the top of this portal to prevent mob spawning, because these obsidian blocks are the only spawnable blocks up here on the roof of the nether right now. And since we're in a crimson forest, I didn't want the potential for piglins, ghasts, or hoglins to spawn up here and attack me while I'm on the nether roof. So let's step on back through, and we should be very high up in the air. Yep, we are up here on our new portal. And now we can take down all of that scaffolding, because those two portals, look at that one hovering up there in the sky. These two portals are now forming the two connections to the nether. One for the nether roof and one for the nether cavern. And looking at it, I can already tell that the portal above is off by one block. That's going to be really annoying, but I'm actually planning on widening these portals out by one block, so I can extend that one block horizontally that way, and that one block horizontally that way, and then they'll match up, because I want to build a giant tower around the outside of these to conceal the fact that we have an enormous nether portal just floating in the sky right now. We're actually going to connect these two today, and I think we're going to do that by means of a water elevator. But first, I've broken out the little nether wart garden around the outside of here, and we're going to expand these two portals to fit a 3x4 nether portal shape. There we go. With the sun setting behind the two of them, we have 3x4 nether portals now, and you can actually build a nether portal basically any dimensions up to, I think, 23x23 if you really want to have a big impressive portal that uses that much obsidian. But I think for now this will be perfect for our purposes, and I'm going to build a tower around the base of this, which is going to conceal the water elevator that we're going to use to get up to the top nether portal and get to the roof for our nether hub. So what I think I'm going to do is place a soul sand block, I guess, here. In fact, let's bring it one block up. We'll have it there. We're going to have some blocks around the base of that. We're going to be able to step out into a room containing this nether portal, or step into a water stream that's going to carry us up to that top portal. And we're going to do that by the magic of soul sand bubble columns. We're going to start a tube of glass that's going to carry us all the way up to that portal. But the first thing I want to do, actually, is run off and get some kelp, because I didn't bring any back from our escapades in the ocean. And while kelp isn't entirely necessary for this process, it does make things a little smoother. So with some kelp gathered from the ocean biome, I need to make a couple of fence gates just so we have a way of exiting this little tube here. We can put one there, and we can open those up. They're going to block the water but allow the player to step on through. And so with the glass blocks I brought with me, we're going to build a tube going all the way up to the level of this nether portal here. Pausing only to drop off the tower, holding shift so we get caught by the scaffolding, and I need to run to the bedroll first. There we go. I think that's about right. We can sort out what the floor is going to be a little bit later. We're going to throw a water bucket in the top of this and ride the water back on down to where this soul sand block is hanging out. Oh, we came out of the bottom of the water there. No worries though, as you can see, it's not leaking out from behind the fence gate, so that's all good. And now we can place kelp. Starting from 1.16 onwards, they made it possible to place kelp directly onto a block of soul sand, which makes this so much easier to do. And what the kelp is going to do is convert all of the flowing water from that water source at the top here into full water sources when we break the plant. So I'm going to swim all the way back down to the bottom here, here, break the kelp that is sat on this block of soul sand, and now the soul sand releases a ton of bubbles, allowing us to ride this water column all the way back up to the top portal like an elevator. Unfortunately, this is just a one-way thing. You can't really swim back down a bubble column like this, and so we're going to drop onto the scaffolding once again and build a safe drop for ourselves. We're going to do that right next door. All we'll need is a sign right there. We'll put a bucket of water here, like so, and every time we fall through this water source, it's actually going to cancel any full damage we would take for dropping from that height, meaning we can just step out of here and be on our merry way. We'll find some nice ways to dress this up a little bit so it looks maybe a little different, but for now, I like having glass tubes so that you can see the bubble column as you ride it all the way to the top. Only one way to test if the water drop works, though. Let's hug this wall, and there we go. Perfect. We made it through unscathed. Just for the sake of safety, because I don't want to hit any of these glass blocks and take full damage if I'm being careless, I am going to build the glass column all the way up to the top on the drop side as well, but that's just going to make it so we can get down from here and back down to ground level nice and easily. I kind of like the square texture of the logs, but I'm not sure I like the logs themselves underneath here, so what I thought I would do is get some of the chiseled stone brick that I traded from the stonemasons and have that as like the kind of end cap of each of these tubes, like so, and I think maybe in the center here we'll just put a block of andesite. There we go. Seems like a nice clean design. For now we'll hop up to the top here via our water column, and I think I'm going to use andesite for a platform up here and then have some spruce slabs for the rest of this, because I want to make sure this area is going to be well lit, but I also want to make sure it's spawn proof in other ways as well, because half blocks like this, anything that's not a full block, and transparent blocks like the glass will not be spawnable for mobs, but we don't need to worry too much about that. We're going to be lighting up the area anyway. I think we'll do the chiseled stone bricks at the top of these tubes here as well as the bottom, and I think for good measure, so I don't just go ahead and walk straight down the drop again, I'm going to put some trapdoors around the outside of the drop so that we just walk straight into that, and blam, we arrive right at the bottom of the tower. Fantastic. So that's a neat way up, a neat way down, and a platform there so I don't just fall out into the sky every time I come back through the portal. I think it's time to use that portal and create our first connection in the Nether. And I think what better place to go for our first Nether hub trip than the desert, mesa, and jungle that we found side by side in the distance. I think those all exist somewhere out to the west of us. I believe I took down the coordinates in the previous episode where we went to go and find those, and if we appear on the top of the Nether right now, we should be able to go and find the relative coordinates here on the Nether Roof. Now, while that was thousands of blocks in the overworld, the dimensional coordinates of the Nether are the overworld coordinates divided by 8, meaning that we need to walk a fair distance out here, but it's going to be 8 times less than the distance we travel in the overworld. And that's how you calculate where you place Nether portals when you build them in the Nether. So looking at the coordinates we got in that episode, I'm looking for -440, -230, or thereabouts. That should be approximately the right location for us to build this portal. And let's make a standard Nether portal. We're just going to make the 2x3 design this time. All we need to do is light this up with our flint and steel, eat a couple of golden carrots because I have been running for a while, and when we hop through this portal, we should hopefully end up, fingers crossed once again, there we go, right next to the jungle, the mesa, and the desert. Spectacular. And the cool part about this is that we didn't establish a Nether portal when we came out here the first time around. So now Minecraft has naturally generated this portal for us. It only links to one place, and that is to the portal on the Nether Roof. If I step back through this, because there isn't a portal for it to link to in the Nether Cavern, we actually end up on the Nether Roof itself. We are in a Nether Wastes biome right now, but you wouldn't be able to tell because we are still above Y127. And I did have the fog switched off for that trip through the Nether. You can go into options, video settings, go to details, and switch your fog to off if you're using Optifine. You can also, I believe, disable that in vanilla settings, but it may not work in the Nether. What that does is prevent this distance fog from creeping in and blurring stuff out. And in the Nether, the effect it has on the terrain, both inside the Nether Cavern and on the Nether Roof, is quite profound. Because this is what the Nether Roof looks like with the fog on, and this is what it looks like with the fog off. So you can see much further. And honestly, if you are looking for Nether portals that you've left in the Nether, if you find yourself stranded on the roof of the Nether looking for portals, disabling fog is honestly a really good tactic, because it will allow you to see your other portals from much further away. Even extend your field of view a little bit if you want to, because that way you'll spot a portal out of the corner of your eye and be able to run to it. But naturally, we are going to lay out some more formal paths, maybe even tunnels up here on the Nether Roof, just to make sure that we can can have something signifying which direction we go. You could do that with torches in the meantime, but the majority of the time, if you set up a portal close to the spawn point of your world, the coordinates in the Nether are going to be close enough to 0, 0 that if you just return to the central point of the Nether, that 0, 0 coordinate, you will probably end up finding your original portal and be able to get back to the overworld. So while we're out here, I'm going to, for a start, remark on how silly this tree is on its 2 blocks of dirt above the jungle and the desert here. And I love the fact that the gradient of leaves starts to kick in when you grow one of those on the border between 2 biomes. But for now, I'm actually going to grab a little bit of wood because I need some of that to slab off the Nether portal that we just made on the Nether roof. I didn't bring any slabs with me this time around and felt like we probably should. And then I'm actually going to go caving here in the Mesa biome because I have a feeling we're going to run into some pretty cool gold deposits while we're here. Mesa biomes, or I guess technically Badlands biomes, have some pretty unique ore generation because, as you can see right here, I have just come into this cave from the surface. Excuse me, don't want you to ruin my day. And all over the place in these biomes, we are finding gold ore. Once again, we are at Y68, and gold ore, which normally generates below Y40, or I think even Y32 or something like that, is available in abundance here. So this is a really great place to bring our fortune pickaxe, and now gold is dropping raw ore, and drops more of it when we have a fortune enchantment, especially when we have fortune 3. We can do a quick caving trip through this Badlands and come away with more gold than you could shake a stick at, and I think yes, with uncovering it basically under every block we mine, at this point we're going to come away with enough gold to sustain some piglin bartering for quite a while, at least until we can set up a small-scale gold farm. I'm also going to grab any other resources I find, because any iron and copper and stuff is still going to be very much worth taking, and anything else I find down here I will bring you guys back in and let you know. Well, one kind of delightful thing I found, I heard an axolotl noise from a nearby wall and decided to break that out and ran straight into this underground pool with an axolotl swimming around in it. Also, a little bit of copper ore and some more gold and iron. I think this is probably the first time I found an axolotl who wasn't either out in the open ocean having swum up from a ravine or just in a single water source in a cave. So this is actually a taste of what we can potentially expect in the next update when they introduce more cave generation. But for now, I'm going to leave him be because I don't really want any more axolotls right now, and I kind of want to keep a bucket of water on me in case of emergencies. Now, I really don't like venturing back out into the night, but that cave didn't really go anywhere, and so I'm going to brave the surface on this Badlands biome for a second or two here so that we can potentially find another cave to go and raid. If you're looking for a way to avoid baby zombies while you're out exploring, by the way, just hop into some water. They're actually really slow in water and you can take care of them without too much fuss, especially if you have Depth Strider on your boots. That looks like a good surface cave right there. I'm also on the lookout for mine shafts because abandoned mine shafts can generate a variant in mesa biomes. Note that looks like it's just a surface lake in the side of this mesa. Oh well, never mind. But yes, this is what I'm looking for right here. We have a mine shaft that's currently full of zombies. A dark oak variant of abandoned mine shafts spawns in Badlands biomes, and this can actually be a really good place to look for gold. Oh, also golden apples. Very nice, because if these tunnels and pathways lead further down into the mesa, then they will naturally uncover large pockets of gold ore closer to the surface than you would normally find them, and that's a great way to get hold of some gold. Once we start getting too much of the gold, I can start turning it into blocks of raw gold, and the same goes for the raw iron and copper. Once we have more than a stack, you might as well. So let's grab the loot from this minecart chest. We'll grab the golden apple and bring maybe the powered rails. And while this mineshaft had a little bit of extra gold in it, it doesn't seem to go down particularly far right now, and the sun is coming up on the surface, which means I can sneak out of here and maybe, there we go, explore a couple of other offshoots of it that lead further into the terracotta. In fact, this is actually a rare and wonderful example of a cave spider spawner that's generated on the surface. So skylight will actually be enough to prevent this spawner from spawning any mobs. I put a torch next to it just so it doesn't end up spawning mobs in the nighttime as well. But yeah, it's actually quite a cool find to spot one of these on the surface. And further down into the earth we go for even more gold and copper. Fantastic stuff. I will grab as much of this as I can before we head back through the portal and return to our new nether hub. It is always a delight finding sections of these mine shafts that come out onto the surface. Is it raining, by the way? I think it is raining. You just don't get rain in warm biomes like this. We have another golden apple. We have a diamond in this chest here as well. I think I'll have to sacrifice some of my signs for that. We'll take the rails back with us, and I don't know what else I can throw away at this point. Maybe the fish. We'll put the fish in there. We can get hold of fish basically anywhere. We can always come back for some of this stuff since we know where it is, and I might try and press on a little bit, but honestly, I'm feeling a bit pushed for space without bringing an ender chest with me. There is so much gold in this area though. Oh my goodness, we are coming away with a whole bunch. And remember that 9 raw gold makes 1 block of raw gold, so basically these convert directly into full blocks of gold, and we have almost half a stack of those already. Well, these surface level mine shafts don't have too much going on in them, and while there is probably a little bit more to explore, I don't really feel like pushing my luck while I'm out here in the Badlands, so I'm probably going to head back to the Hobbit hole now, but we can use our nether hub to get to and from this area whenever we want to, and oh boy, did we come away with a lot of gold from this trip. So it's back to the Nether Roof we go, and if I point myself in this direction, there we go, put torches on this side so I could remember which direction was the way back. We just got to run for the center of the world, and hopefully sooner or later with the coordinates up, we'll end up in the right location. Once again, could always turn the fog off if we wanted to see a little bit further. And a short time later, we're back at our central portal. We can hop on through here to the village, and we'll have to use our safe fall to get back down from the platform because, yep, it is raining and it is also nighttime. Well, hopefully all the villagers are tucked up safely in their beds. We might have to repel a few mobs once the rain has stopped falling and the sun is up. Yeah, we got a couple of invaders, but the golems are just juggling them in the center of the village, so that looks like we're all good. Well, I have some stuff to put in the blast furnaces because, gosh, we came away with a lot of gold from that adventure. We have stacks upon stacks of the stuff, and I've even got enough supplies left over that I think we should probably make our first ender chest. So let's stash the diamond in here, let's stash all of the raw gold. There we go, so much more raw gold than we had before. Let's throw those in there. Let's throw the golden apples in the nearby food chest there as well, getting up a tasty collection of those. And I think, yeah, we can grab a little bit of blaze powder from this. We can turn that into 2 eyes of ender, and we'll make 1 ender chest for now. We'll grab a bit more obsidian, and we'll make ourselves another one. But the ender chest is going to be pretty important. I've placed it down here at the end of our storage system, and we could always craft another one to take with us on future mining expeditions to the Mesa and beyond. But that is going to be it for this episode of the Hardcore Survival Guide. I do hope you've enjoyed this look at creating our nether hub, and I can see us doing some cool stuff with the nether roof in the near future as well. Leave a like on this episode for me if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys soon. Take care, bye for now.